Hey girl, hey, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Misha. Thank you guys for joining me yet again for another review. All right, y'all. So we are starting a new series. This is Throwback Thursday. Y'all can tell me if y'all want to keep this going or not, but I'm going to be reviewing some of the Housewives and other shows, because it's not going to just be Housewives, some other shows that we loved and we love to hate. And this week, it is The Real Housewives of Atlanta, Season 6, Episode 13, Pillow Talk or Pillow Fight. This is when The Real Housewives of Atlanta was organic. Now, child, let's get into it if we gonna get into it. If you are new here, then welcome. I give lighthearted reviews with a little bit of laughter and a little bit of shade and a whole lot of detail. If you are back for a second or third time or you requested the Pillow Talk, I'ma need y'all to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel if you get anything out of the content. You gonna get a kiki, at least one, at least a chuckle, a smile, a smirk. If you get any of those things, I'm gonna need y'all to hit that like button and hit subscribe so you can keep on coming back every Thursday for the Throwback Thursday foolishness. Now, child, let's get into it if we gonna get into it. When the episode first opens up, Phaedra, high-class Parks and her fashions meet up with Dwight. You let Greg borrow $10,000? Banks, honey. Remember when Nene asked him, you let Greg borrow $10,000? Honey, I ain't never gonna forget that. Y'all gonna have to review that episode as well. So anywho, the two of them, child. Batman and Robin back in the day. They meet up at this house to plan Dylan's, aka Mr. President's, blessing. The theme is inauguration. Baby, Phaedra was gonna throw an extravagant Bougetto event with a theme if she done do nothing else, child. She was gonna do that. So they go to visit this Airbnb before they were Airbnbs, and they're planning, right? So she's like, yeah, I want Secret Service, and the colors are red, white, and blue, and I also want people to fall from the sky, but I'm not too sure about that. Do you think we could get real Secret Service? And Dwight just sitting there like, Child, Phaedra loved to plan a Bougetto event, according to Kandi. So they're looking around the home to get a feel for it. Child, this is when Phaedra was still wearing her real hair. Child, she got this real hair pulled up into a bouffant. Nowadays, Phaedra a whole city girl. Do y'all hear me? Honey, she got fillers and pullers and tuckers, and it's all kind of stuff going on with the facials. Child, I don't know who it is, okay? I looked at her on one picture and thought she was Cynthia. I said, now, Cynthia, how you get over there? Child, this is a fool. Anyway, Phaedra's at this place, child. Still wearing her real hair and lying about extensions. Y'all remember that? Y'all remember when she used to be lying about wearing extensions when they were at the reunion? She was like, I don't wear extensions. Everybody knows that I've been wearing this same hairstyle since the 10th grade. Phaedra, you don't do nothing but lie, child. And the truth ain't in you. Moving forward. So this is when they still used to give us the price tag. So the rental property for one day would be $3,850. So her and Dwight get together, and it was a full-on mess. And as they're discussing it and what all Phaedra wants, she brings up dancers to do a dance number. Dancers are going to be $4,000. Child, this was the good old days. Remember when Nene and Kim went to the store and bought Brielle some jeans? I think it was True Religion jeans. And she rang them up. And then Kim wanted that SUV and she called, thank you, Big Papa. Baby, that's when Housewives was good. Do y'all hear me? I sure miss the original cast and their original faces. Moving forward. Unpopular opinion. Dwight was not a great party planner. He really ain't playing nothing. Okay? Quite frankly, he ain't playing nothing. And I know y'all remember when he was on my Super Sweet 16, helping them to plan that party, and they were having it at Justin's. They used to be down in the ATL that Diddy used to own, and they had closed off the entire Peachtree because they was having this parade and a band was coming. I forgot whose Super Sweet 16 it was, but that's what I remember Dwight from. And then all of a sudden he showed up over here. Who's having a fashion show without any fashions? How dreadful. And that's when he showed up on this side. I'm like, Dwight, you ain't planning nothing worth nothing, child. Phaedra just dishing out money and having you find these people. The stuff don't halfway be put together right. Child to be a whole fool. But anywho, that's just me. Moving forward. In the next scene, Cynthia stops by to download Peter on the mess that happened when they went to the winery in the episode prior to this. So she tells him that Nene is throwing a couples event. It's a romantic pillow talk event and she wants Peter to come. And so she's like, before we go though, let me fill you in on what's been happening. She said we were having this lunch, right? And Kandi and Natalie got into it because she was talking about Todd. I'm glad they never tried to make Natalie happen because she irked me. I didn't like her. I didn't like that stringy hair. I didn't like them lies she was telling. I didn't like how she thought she was better than everybody else, sitting with Christopher Williams, looking how she was looking. I didn't like Natalie. That's just me. Well, Natalie was talking about Todd being an opportunist, and she said out of nowhere, Kandi brought you up. And he was like, well, what she said about me? She's like, I feel like it was a dig, but she said it wasn't. Cynthia, it was not a dig. She was proving a point because Kandi said, I know things about Peter and I don't bring up his past and, because you're his future. She was proving a point. Everybody got a past. Nobody wants to hear about what happened before them. What Todd did with Natalie's friend don't got nothing to do with Kandi. Nothing. Okay? It ain't got nothing to do with that candy coated nights. Moving forward. So Cynthia was like, she said, I know a lot about Peter. I know a lot about his past. Here he go. He getting all nervous. He's like, so is she implying I'm messing around behind your back? She said, I don't think she was implying that, but it's just the way she said it. It's like the way that she said it. He said, she don't know nothing about me. Here goes Cynthia. Well, I told her, everybody got a past, and I'm not interested in anything from your past per se. I'm your now and your future. Well, child, that didn't age well. Shout out to Mike Hill. She said, you got anything to say about that? Then please put it on the table. Cynthia was always talking about putting something on the table, child. As soon as Peter got exposed for rubbing that girl's neck down, she didn't want no table or nothing to be put on it. Girl, goodbye. Ain't gonna bust a grape. So here go Peter. He looking at her like, yeah, right. Is that what you said? So then he said, did you say that to her? She said, absolutely. Cynthia, quit lying. You do know we saw that episode, right? You said nothing of the sort. You ain't say nothing to Kandi because you already know what time it is over there. Kandi be sitting around with that wide mouth, but she will knock you down a peg or two if need be. Cynthia ain't gonna do nothing, child. She'll just be talking. So Peter is like, well, I need to find out what she know about me. Why, Peter? If you ain't doing nothing, if it ain't true, why? She's like, I don't want you to say nothing to Kandi, and I don't want y'all getting into it. Child, Peter love arguing with women. Everybody ain't lying on you, Peter. Okay? Cynthia's like, I don't want to mess up Nene's thing. He's like, I just want to ask her. I just want to talk to her. Moving forward. In the next scene, Kenya and Aunt Lori pull up to the fertility clinic. Aunt Lori disappeared in later seasons. After more manor was built, child, we didn't see hide nor hair of Aunt Lori. Child, she was like, look, I'm done with this show. Okay, I really didn't want to be on here to begin with, but Kenya asked me, so I showed up, and now I've done what all I can do, honey, and I'm ready to go right now. Shout out to John Legend. So she's there to see what she needs to do to increase her chances of having a child of her own. And so Aunt Lori is like, well, we already got a lot of issues in our family, so are you sure you want to have a baby? Kenya's like, yeah, that's why I want a family of my own, so I can just take my baby away from you guys. Aunt Lori was like, girl, please. You know you're going to need our help, honey. So she said, so do you want a boy or a girl? She said, now you already know the answer to that. She said, a boy. She said, yes, I don't want any girls. Child, I hope Brooklyn never sees this. Now, I understand at the time her logic, because her and her mom had such an awful non-existent relationship, and her mom basically treated her like the scum at the bottom of her shoe. So she probably didn't want to repeat that with her own daughter, but God blessed her with Brooklyn, because he know what we need. Okay, because I was like, I want a girl, I want a girl, I want a girl. I never said I don't want a boy. I just wanted the girl first. Baby, God was like, child, boy, it is. Moving forward. So they get called to the back. This is when Kenya was claiming she had a boyfriend in Africa. Kimora is across the street. Kimora is across the street. Y'all remember that? Y'all remember that? Oh, child. So the doctor explains to her that the hormone levels were good, but the functioning of her ovaries was diminished. So she said, I don't want to say nothing's possible because we don't know. So Kenya said in her confessional, she said, there has to be something that medical science can do for me. And if not, I believe in God, because if he gave Sarah a baby at 90 years old, then I have faith that he can do the same for me. Well, honey, she kept the faith till she got her baby. Amen on that. So then the doctor suggested donor eggs. She's like, no, I don't want to do that. She's like, well, what about all these celebrities? How are they having babies? She said, Halle Berry is 46 and she's pregnant. So how is that happening? Child, Janet had a baby at dang near 50, or did she have a baby at 50? Child, I don't know, honey. They having babies all up and through the ages. Do you hear me? To me, it's not so much about getting pregnant with the age. It's the risk involved, like as well as my energy level. Okay, I'm tired at 39. I don't want another baby at 40 plus years old. But I did say that I was giving myself until 43. And if it doesn't happen by then the shop is closed. The door is closed. Shout out to Nene Lee. Moving forward. So the doctor is like, well, they're getting assistance. That's what's happening. So Kenya said, well, what if I get a turkey baster? The doctor said, well, you know, people have turkey basting parties. No, ma'am. We will not take turns going into the bedroom to impregnate ourselves. Like, it's a hell no. Absolutely not. Over at the candy factory, she's talking to Don Juan and Todd about her mother's love play. That's the one where she employed Portia's old ungrateful behind, only for her to turn right around and start a career-ending rumor about her. Child, it be your own people. So Kandi is like, well, what casting call should we have Portia come to? Here go Don Juan. Amazing grace, how sweet Portia sound. Baby, Don Juan never saw her for Portia. Do y'all hear me? Never. Child, he couldn't stand her. And I was always like, why is he so mean to Portia? Moving forward. So Kandi is like, well, I think Portia can pull off being in the play. He said, I just need to hear her sing. She was like, yeah, I want you to hear her sing so you can quit doubting her. Now, y'all see this right here? That's Kandi being a ride or die friend. But y'all, we all know how that turned out. She's like, I wouldn't say she's the best singer, I've ever heard, but with my help, I mean, she can do anything. Kandi, you need a little coach as well. Thank goodness for Tamika and the Scott sisters, because Kandi, honey, you are not the strongest vocalist. Not at all, okay? So Todd suggests that Christopher Williams be in the play. She's like, oh, speaking of him, I ran into his wife, Natalie. So Don Juan was like, let me get out of here, honey, because my name is West and I ain't in this mess and it sounds like some foolery. So I'm going to go and excuse myself. So he leaves. And so Kandi was like, when you first told me about her, you said she was cool, but she didn't have nice things to say about you. She said you were an opportunist. Here go Todd. Oh, here they go. Yes, Todd, here they go. Okay, here they go. Baby, they gave Todd the blues when he first got with Kandi. Even her own family didn't like Todd. Todd didn't have nobody in his corner but his mom. May she rest in peace. It was a fool when he first got with baby. He stuck it out though. Todd said, I'm going to be with Kandi come hell or high water. And baby, he stuck in there. And it's, I think, 9 years later. And baby, they still going strong. All right, Kandi, you better get your man, honey. Cynthia was messy this season. That's another unpopular opinion. Cynthia was messy. Kandi trusted her and went to her to talk about Todd, and Mama Joyce taking them shoes off in that bridal boutique trying to fight Todd. She wouldn't confide in her, only for Cynthia to go back and talk to Natalie and be messy and throw out the word opportunist when Natalie never said the word opportunist, even though she implied it though. But it was still messy. So Todd is like, how all of a sudden she bring me up? Kandi said, well, she said when she heard you were dating me, she wasn't surprised because you like to date up. Why they acting like Kandi is just an unattractive woman nobody will ever have? Like, she can't help that she's a boss. Like, Kandi got a body for days. People just, ignore her because, child, she be singing with that little Billy Goat gruff voice. But, child, Kandi is a boss, child. Like, why y'all acting like she can't get anyone? She said, I feel like I came up too. Our relationship is awesome. Don't talk about my man and my child and my mama. Shout out to Nene Leaks. Baby, Kandi gonna ride for Todd. She is 10 toes down for real when it comes to Todd. She said, I'm just sick of hearing what other people got to say about my relationship. Moving forward. So he's like, y'all ever went somewhere and it just be cool? No, Todd. Okay, you worked behind the scenes. It's a Housewives show. The heifers get together to shade each other and fuss over food. Boy, keep up. So she was like, when Nene is putting together a pajama party, he's like, I ain't wearing no pajamas in front of no grown people. She was like, yes, you're going. He's like, I don't think I'm gonna make this one. She said, yeah, you will. Kandi pulled the purse string, so you will be in attendance. Moving forward. Child, Kenya done brought Miss Lawrence down to the sperm bank. Kenya said, with my African sweetie living in another continent, I really need a backup plan. Kenya was really trying to get us to believe she was with this man in Africa. They had given Kenya such a hard time about Walter. The child, she was saying she was with any old body. Kenya, you never had a man in Africa. Girl, please. I really hate that they made her feel like she needed an imaginary friend. Like, how dreadful. But y'all, she wasn't fooling me. So they're waiting in this lobby, right? And this young guy comes in. Now, at the time, I didn't think about it, but that was totally staged. Sir, you just randomly came in at this time and to appear on camera? Boy, gone. Because let me tell you something. They were filming this reality show in Houston, And I was working at this place and they put up a sign that said that you were not to enter because they were filming a show. So you can't just be walking in the set all willy-nilly like that. Otherwise, the place would have been squirming with people laying down their sperm and whatnot. Boy, so Miss Lawrence is like, are you a donor? The guy's like, yeah, I'm the last of the Mohicans. So, I'm getting my name out there. Plus, I'm handsome. I mean, I don't know about all that. He was all right. Looking back, this is just terrible. This is terrible. So Kenya is like, so how tall are you? He said, I'm 6'2". She said, oh, I'm just so flustered. He's like, well, you know what? Choose 6744. Boy, goodbye. It's giving James Bond. Goodbye. Go on, boy, go on. We don't want nothing to do with it. Child, Kenya used to flirt with any old body. Any old body. They take Kenya on a tour of the facility, right? So the sperm costs $475 per sample. Kenya wants Obama's sperm. Kenya. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. So then the lady asked her list of requirements. She's like, oh, okay. Definitely. I want them to be funny, affectionate, well-groomed, no BO, over 6'4", pretty features, slender nose, green eyes. I mean, why they gotta have green eyes? For what? Girl, goodbye. So that lady completely stopped writing when she said green eyes. She's scared. Ma'am, just come to a screeching halt, honey. This is Kenya. We've learned to just adapt, child. It's crazy. So then the lady said, well, let me read you some of these essays. I was thinking to myself, not they writing essays to hand over this sperm. Child, this is something else. So Kenya starts reading and the grammar was all wrong. Now I have to agree with Kenya on this. I do not want you writing, spelling, mispronouncing words, because then that's going to carry on to my child. And honey, we can't have that. And then I'll have no way to trace it back because it sure didn't come from me. So it definitely came from you. And that's a no. So she was reading it and it said wants instead of want. And the lady was like, I think it's a typo. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. It's not a typo. So Kenya said, I don't want a man that's clearly unintelligent. One Portia running around is enough for us all. Honey, she tried. Maybe they used to give each other hell. Do y'all hear me? So they're showing them around the collection room. Child, this is just too much. Leave it to Kenya to take us to the sperm bank. Moving forward. It's the day of Dylan's blessing, and they're getting everything all set up, and we even got a glimpse of Keosha, who is Phaedra's sister. This one, the show was organic, because Phaedra didn't bring not one more family member besides her mama on that show after this season. So guests are starting to arrive. So Kandi said, Phaedra is my girl, so whenever she puts together an event, I have to be there because I know it's going to be fabulous. Kandi was really a rider for Phaedra. It is pathetic the way that Phaedra did her. She would literally show up to support her through everything. She was even at that hospital for Aiden's birth when Phaedra was sitting there lying, acting like she didn't know that boy was full term. See, this is why I can't rock with phony Faye. To this day, this is the reason why. She was so wrong for what she did to Kandi. You deserve some discipline for what you did to Kandi. Nene should have been saying that to Phaedra and Portia. She a snake. I would feel the same way as Kandi. If she comes back, I'm out. Deuces. Moving forward. So Phaedra and the first family arrive with trumpets blaring and everybody standing on the steps as they're announced. I ain't gonna lie. I'm this extra. Okay? When I have something for my baby, I'm extra, extra. I'm extra, extra. Read all about it. It's gonna give some zhuzh. It's not gonna be an ordinary party with a sheet cake and we're gonna eat some ice cream. No. I have one baby, so it will be an event, honey. It will be. So the party is underway and they're greeting everyone, and Phaedra putting on this little act like her and Apollo are perfect, child. Whole time they fussing. Once they had Dylan, that's when the cracks started to show. So he was ready to eat, and she was like, well, we getting ready to do the dance. Chill out. He was like, well, I'm hungry. She was like, just chill out for a minute. And she was talking through her teeth. You know the way your mama does when you're all in public. You remember when we were little and your mama used to talk through her teeth in public so she didn't embarrass you or herself, but you knew she meant business. So you just kindly fall back. And that's what Phaedra was giving Apollo. Moving forward. So they do this little dance, and then Dwight and Phaedra do a little two-step. Phaedra always got to have a dance number at her party, child. You remember when she had that holiday party and everybody came dressed up as something and Kenya came as the Grinch and she was dancing with Kim Field's husband? She loved a little two-step. So Phaedra does a quick wardrobe change, and Miss Regina, who is her mom, she does the blessing for her. Child, and now it's time for the brawl for it all. It's fight night. It's the night of the pillow talk party, child. So Nene is setting everything up. She was like, it's just like free couples counseling. I wouldn't want none of y'all counseling me. None of y'all. So Nene in there fluffing these pillows, lighting these candles. So then her BFF per contract, Cynthia, she shows up in her modest night attire. I'm like, Cynthia, what you got on, honey? Trying to be an old lady before you was really an old lady. So Cynthia gets on in and she starts asking, well, who all coming? So Nene names everybody, basically the entire cast. And she was like, who Portia gonna bring? She said, oh, I think she gonna bring a friend. She said, y'all even invited Kenya. And this is what started the divide with Kenya and Nene, which I hated to see because those two together would have been everything. But both of their personalities are too strong. Kenya wanted the throne. Nene was not going to be dethroned. And it was a whole mess. But let me tell you one thing. Kenya was not afraid of Lanithia. Do y'all hear me? Baby. She was not afraid of her or Nene. Moving forward. She said, I invited Natalie and Christopher as well. So Cynthia's like, well, how that's going to work? Especially with Kenya. You know, last time they saw each other, it was a whole fool. So Nene looking like, well, y'all, I don't know and I don't care. So she said, I just got one question. How you think this setup look? Is it cute? Baby, Nene don't care about nobody but Nene. Cynthia is to Nene what Kandi was to Phaedra. But the setup was cute, y'all. So Portia and her real body and Lauren, they show up. This one, she had me fooled, y'all, okay? She had me fooled. 5 and 6 all the way through 11. She had, now 5 and 6 all the way through 9. Because when she did that mess with Phaedra, I couldn't really rock with her like that no more. I really couldn't. And then I was like, well, you know, maybe Phaedra made a child. It's just a whole thing. We're going to have a little sidebar about that. So Cynthia's like, who is that knocking like the police? Because, baby, she was banging on that door like the 5-0. So when she got inside, Cynthia said, girl, you know how to knock on the door. That sounds like something I would say. I thought that was so funny. So Nene leave these heifers in there, right? So she goes to get dressed. She's like, y'all light these candles and stuff for me. I'm going to go get my dress on. And so they was like, oh, okay. So everybody starts to arrive. So then Chuck and Monique, they get there. That's Monique with the Y. Oh, child. Who does that? Y'all remember when Phaedra said that? Because her and Monique kind of got into it when they went to Savannah. But child, that's neither here nor there. We're going to review that episode as well. Moving forward. Remember, Chuck is Kandi and Phaedra's ex-boo. But Phaedra was not feeling him being there at all. So Nene emerges, giving them leg, honey, because everybody has arrived. She's like, we have a male and a female model that will be serving the women. The male will be serving the women, and the woman will be serving the men. Twirl around for them, honey. Let them see that thing. I'm like, oh, child. The female model had her little cheeks out. That's before everybody started hanging out down at Dr. Curve. She had a real body, okay? Baby cheeks, had little dimples in it and all. I was so uncomfortable with these two servers when I was watching this episode for the first time because the guy had on these little tighty whities, but they were black. And I was like, this is just too much, honey. This is a mess. So Nene is like, Kandi rated my sex life for 2 years ago. Well, I've taken your advice, honey. I've stepped it up. I have balls inside of me. Oh, that dang. That dang Nene. Her and Kandi were like oil and water. It was always some drama between them two. So Nene sashaying back and forth and back, all hype. And I remember thinking, what is wrong with Nene? Like, I know you might have a little bit of nerves because this is your first time really hosting something, but is this anxiety? Did you go in the back? Like, what is happening with you right now? It's not making no sense. I don't know if she was nervous about hosting or what, but she was very hype, child. She said, please stop looking at my legs, Apollo. So, child, she's saying all this stuff. So Kandi in her confessional, she was like, I don't know what's going on with doggone Nene, the way she hopping around this room. She seems geeked up or something. Oh, Kandi. So Phaedra is like, okay, girl, so what is this? Because, child, Phaedra ready to get into it as she get into it. Nene said, okay, so this is an event all about relationship advice. We're going to play a game called How Well Do You Know Your Mate? Baby, Nene in this confessional with this blonde 27-piece combed over, this off-the-shoulder teal blouse, and this statement necklace is sending me. Baby. Oh, child. This before Nene got money, honey. This before she was really rich. Oh, child, this is too much. Talking about, okay, so we will ask specific questions. Child, like the ocean. Oh, child, I love it. She said, you pull the question out and then answer it. She's like, in the meantime, we will wait on our very late guest. So Portia was like, who is late? She was like, Kenya, do you see her? Oh, see, I would have went off right then. I would have said, girl, don't talk to me like that. I wasn't looking for Kenya. So therefore, and thus and such, I didn't know that she was late. I didn't know who all you invited. See, I would have been going toe to toe with Nene. It would have never worked. It would have never worked, honey. It would have never worked. I'm going to tell you this right now. I would not wait for one person. I'm not about to hold up all my on-time guests for one late person. Absolutely not. So Nene starts to get irritated because you already know what happened when they went down to Vegas, child. It was a fool then. So she gets irritated, so they go ahead and start. So Portia pulls the first question. Do you prefer your mate to be passive or aggressive in the bedroom? So then Cynthia was like, I prefer aggressive. Well, of course, Cynthia, honey. And so Portia was like, of course, he's from Jamaica. I personally prefer aggressive. Child, I need you to take charge. Okay? I do not want no meek and mild man in the bed. Absolutely not. So then Cynthia asked the question, are you comfortable around someone you know slept with your mate? Child, why shady Carlos King them paying over the Kandi? I said, look at Carlos King. It's funny looking back because Portia yells out, hell no. Girl, be quiet. Just shut up, girl. Just shut up. That's how I know that fight was because of Dennis bringing that woman on that trip. See how we can cross-reference some things if we look back on old episodes? It's all making sense. But that was a messy question. We know Nene behind the mess. So Kandi said, I don't care personally. Peter said, I hang out with Leon all the time, and I know y'all got a child, so I know y'all done did it before. I know that's right, Peter. Peter and Leon gonna be cool with somebody Cynthia with if he don't do nothing else. Baby, he say, please keep Cynthia away from me. Because you know the people have been trying to put Leon and Cynthia back together for years. So then Cynthia was like, where's Kenya? Child, getting Nene even more hype. Cynthia, why would you ask her that? My thing is this. Kenya is late. I will be pissed about it. But I'm going to enjoy the guests that are there. I am not going to center my entire party around Kenya being late. I would not allow Kenya to stop the whole party. It's not like she was going to add anything to it. Was she supposed to bring the ice or something? Like, I was totally confused. Why are y'all so focused on Kenya being late? Moving forward. Kenya and her white Bentley finally arrived. Baby, this when the mess finna get started. With Brandon in his silk pajamas in tow. Meanwhile, upstairs, Peter is asking, would you be comfortable with your lover being bisexual? Child, they go to Portia's facial expression. Nene gonna say, Portia, this may be a question that you can answer. Nene ain't got no sense. Nene ain't got no sense. The fact that they implied that about Cordell still gets me, and he never said nothing. The man wasn't even there to defend himself. Here go Portia. Don't try it. See, it was starting to come out just a little bit. But she was like, this is my second season, so I got to suppress the crazy. I can't let it out yet. But Lauren sure was cracking up. She must know the real. Nene said, don't get offended, honey. It's just questions. Just answer it. She's like, don't call me out. I wouldn't be comfortable. She said, look, I wouldn't be comfortable with my man being bisexual, heterosexual, homosexual, nothing. He got to be all about Portia sexual if he with me. This heifer so lost. She threw in heterosexual. Ma'am, I think you would want for him to be heterosexual if he with you. So Lauren was like tapping on the shoulder like, girl, you want the hetero part? Girl, that's what you want. Portia really doesn't know things. Like, I remember watching this scene when it first aired thinking, she is really less than smart. So as everyone is laughing at Portia instead of with her, Kenya knocks on the door. Girl, the party is almost over. So Nene is like, Kenya is on my hit list right now. So Nene opens the door. Miss America twirls on in like, hey, how y'all doing? Whole time Nene pissed. She's like, come on in and take a seat, honey. You're late. So she's like, well, Brandon's flight. Well, she said, what does that have to do with me? Well, now she know how Nene is. Girl, you could have at least called. So Kenya was like, you look fabulous. Nene said, you don't. She said, honey, I always do. Nene said, you want to, but you really don't. That's so petty. That is so petty. Both of y'all look nice. So Kenya is like, Nene is on a 10, and I'm going to need her to bring it down to like a 2 or 3. Kenya was wrong for not telling her she would be late. But Nene, she do be talking crazy, because I would have left y'all. Kenya is like, well, I apologize. She was like, you should. So Nene is like, anybody that don't like the rules, they can leave, big titties. So Phaedra is like, Nene is exactly right this time. Kenya deserves a good read. That's why she's Kenya Moore. Be quiet, Phaedra. Moving forward. After going back and forth and back, they go to the next question. So Nene asks, would you get upset if your man took a look at other women? Again, Portia was like, yes. Well, child, she didn't lie. Finally. I mean, Dennis is a witness. She said, I don't even feel comfortable with my man going to the strip club. Child, we know this was early on, Portia. Come on now. Nene said, something must have happened in her childhood. Child, Nene is a fool. So Natalie is like, well, I agree with her. Peter said, well, y'all whack as... Peter be talking crazy too. Now, mind you, he said that to common law wife, okay? He said that she was whack AF. Natalie and Christopher didn't say nothing, but they want to turn up on Kenya. Actually, Christopher is whack as, if we really want to be real. So Peter said, a lot of us go to the strip club. He said, I do, Apollo do, Todd do, because we see each other. And, you know, we see it like an office. Nowadays, there be more women in the strip club than men. But I don't know about it being an office. Maybe that was what they like to create. But honey, they be in there throwing them bands that make her dance. Shout out to Juicy J. Ain't no concentrating happening while Cash Money taking over for the 99 and the 2000 and they backing that thing up. Child, is just an excuse. So then Peter starts lying. He's like, I would pay for my friend to get a lap dance, but I'm not getting no dance at the strip club. So Candy's like, Peter, no, you did not just say that. He's like, I've been to the strip club with Kandi. Kandi said, yes. When you're out in the club, don't think I'm not. Shout out to Kandi. She said, that's what I'm saying. Like, stop. He said, let's keep it 100. She said, when I walked in the club, she was on your lap. He was like, she was? Oh, my God. Child. She was like, Peter, please don't put me in that position. Peter should have just quit while he was ahead. I never trusted him from this episode forward because why did you lie? Y'all already talk about y'all go to the strip club. I know she don't think you going up into the strip club to hold a wall up. Peter, just ignorant. Moving forward. So Kandi was like, men don't like for you to know what they do when no one's watching, but I wasn't going to say nothing, but hearing him talk about it, it makes me uncomfortable, especially since I know that he lying. He's like, I'm not there for that. She said, I didn't think you was trying to take her home or nothing. So then Cynthia gets in her confessional all defensive, and she's like, let's be clear. Cynthia always was talking about let's be clear. I've never had a problem with Peter going to the strip club. I ain't think he was going for the chicken wings and the hot sauce. Are you sure, Miss Bailey? Because you and Phaedra showed it hit that strip club with him trying to keep him company. Child, and then y'all went to the wrong spot, child, and they, do your boobs hang low? Do they wobble to the flow? Child, them strippers in there was ancient. Do you hear me? Maybe them the original strippers. So Nene is like, well, I'm telling you right now, men do all types of things in the strip club. They have sex in the strip club. They get BJs in the strip club. There's also a trick in the strip club. There is always something going on in the strip club. Well, child, Nene would know. Nene said, yes, I was a stripper. I wasn't traumatized. It was all about bank for me. I know that's right, child. Get your money and go home and take it to your kids. Apollo said, I go because I just got out of jail. He said, Phaedra, she always worried about why I'm going to the strip club. Then I come home, I drop down the receipt. It's like $5,000. I'm like, Apollo, hush. Now, where you getting $5,000 with no job, fresh out of jail? That show you right there, Phaedra knew he was doing something no good. Because how you getting $5,000, ain't got a bit of a degree or nothing behind you, and just got out of the pen? Boy, goodbye. She's like, that's what I have a problem with. So everybody is like, Apollo, that's too much money to be spending. You can spend that money on the kids. He's like, I spend my money on what I want to spend my money on. You spend your money on bags. I spend my money on drinks. Apollo, you ain't got no money to be spending on no drinks in the amount of $5,000 plus. He was trying to prove he had all this money. Meanwhile, the feds was watching. Whole time he's scamming. Apollo, the feds are watching you and your strip club spending habits. Moving forward. So Kenya is me, child. In her confessional, she said, well, now where is he getting $8,000 to spend in a strip club on booty? Exactly. Child, just lying and trying. Moving forward. Apollo have several seats. So Christopher chimes in. He said, I don't think every dude is in the strip clubs. Child, he's just saying any old thing in front of common law. Let's continue. He said, me being from the Bronx, I have a mental block and it's hard for me to pay for things like that. So Natalie is like, we wrote a song called Dance for You. So I take care of that. Girl gone. Even if he don't shell out a dime, if he is invited to that strip club, he gonna go. You can dance for him or not, Beyonce. Tonight I'm gonna dance for you. Oh, oh. Girl, goodbye. She annoyed me. Kenya said, I think if a guy goes all the time, then that's the problem. So then here go Nene. She jumps up. She's like, well, Kenya, let's keep it real. When we was at the winery, you had so much to say about Natalie and Christopher. So let's keep it all the way real. I'm like, oh my gosh, child, this is finna get a mess started. And here we go. Nene started this whole mess. They were talking about the strip club, not their relationship. So Natalie said, yeah, you said I was his common law wife when y'all were on the road, and you said that verbatim. To this day, I think that Christopher and Kenya had a little something, and he told her that. Maybe he had a crush on Kenya. I don't know how it went, but it was something that went on that didn't make no sense to me. Honey, they ain't fooling me, allegedly. So he gets up and he starts moving around. Now he gets up, okay? Now they knew someone right when he was getting up. Sir, take a seat. So Portia is like, sir, we need you to sit. She said, no. He's going to stand for this. Oh, okay, so he get to stand. But when Kenya get up and get to moving around, it's a problem. Okay. So he said, I just want to address you. That was the first wrong move. You do not address a woman as a man. Like, what are you talking about? The way you're speaking, your tone, saying you want to address her? Absolutely not. So Brandon's sitting back and he looking like, what? So Brandon kind of sat up a little bit. He's like, I don't know what kind of medication you're on. She said the same as you. So mind you, Chris is getting closer. She's like, I'm on the same medication as you. Kenya said, what you will not do is talk to me crazy. I am nobody's punk. That's what she's saying in her confessional. So Kenya said, what I said, to be clear, here go Natalie. No, backpedal now. So Kenya gets up and she's like, no, this is not backpedaling. This is front pedaling. So she's walking towards Natalie. Now, mind you, Christopher got up first. Now Kenya gets up and she walks across the room towards Natalie. I saw nothing wrong with that because she's addressing the woman. Because Natalie could have easily stood up herself. So Christopher stood up, came toward her first, but nobody had anything to say about that. As she's walking, Christopher grabs her arm. She's like, don't grab me. He's like, no. She said, don't touch me. Yes, keep your hands in your pockets, sir. Keep your hands to yourself. Don't touch me. So then Brandon starts to defend Kenya, as he should. And he's like, don't put your hands on her. Peter steps in between Chris and Brandon, and Peter pushes Brandon down on the beanbag. That's when all hell broke loose. So Brandon is like, don't you ever put your hands on me. So for some reason, now I do not know what. I don't know if Apollo was jealous because Brandon was there with Kenya, and I don't care what nobody say. Apollo definitely had a crush on Kenya. So I don't know if it was something that had to do with that. He gets up, jumps up, and pushes Brandon back down. Now who asked you to intervene? Peter had him already, so it was no reason for you to get up. Now it's 2-on-1. So now it's Peter and Apollo, and Brandon is kicking and whatnot. So when Apollo pushed him down, Peter kind of held Brandon down while Apollo kept hitting him. Peter did that on purpose. If y'all have not seen this, you can run it back on Hulu, season 6, episode 13. Watch how Peter holds down Brandon as Apollo continues to attack him. So Apollo keeps hitting him. I peeped that. Remember, Christopher Williams sang for Cynthia and Peter when he surprised her for that anniversary, remember? So you know Christopher Williams is cool with Peter. So I think he was trying to kind of help Christopher out on the slick. Child. So Phaedra and Kenya are grabbing Apollo and he's pushing them off. At this point, Kristen got removed by Greg because he ain't gonna bust a grape. Peter's still holding down Brandon. Brandon is kicking Apollo away. Eventually, Brandon breaks free and child is on. They pan over the old scary Chuck. Tell me why he in the corner hiding behind Monique. I'm like, he did all that talking about how he the big homie and he hiding behind his wife. Boy, goodbye. So Kenya is like, Apollo is out of his mind beating Brandon as if he's in a jail cell fighting for his virginity. Child, they allow Apollo to fight Brandon. And I don't care what nobody say. They allowed that to happen. That was sick. Imagine going to something for a friend and getting attacked for defending her. So as a man, he was supposed to just sit there and just let it happen. So Phaedra is like, I don't know why he's gotten so physical with Brandon. You know, Apollo has a temper, but he can usually rein it in. It seems like he's been wanting to do that for a while. Apollo's mind was still institutionalized. That's what I was thinking. It's either that or he was jealous that Brandon was there with Kenya. It's one of the two. So Chris, who helped start the whole mess, child, he in the corner. Weak sauce, honey, you're weak sauce. Greg trying to talk to him. Don't talk to him. He ain't even got nothing to do with this. Greg, go over there and rest in peace, Greg. Oh, Greg was so full of life during this episode. But anyway, that's just a side note. But go over there and talk to Peter and Apollo because they are the real villains. So Nene is blaming Kenya. She's like, you made the wrong move. I promise you that. You don't get up and charge nobody. Brandon should have tagged in Portia. She's used to it. Child, Brandon should have tagged Portia in. So Kenya is looking for Brandon and Nene corners her. She's like, what I tell you? You got up out your damn seat. Nene, you wrong on this one. Chris was already standing over her being all aggressive. They were on unlevel playing fields. I'm not going to sit down while some man is standing over me. No, I'm not. When she walked over, he grabbed her arm. People keep forgetting that because it's Kenya. Now, I'm going to say this. All the housewives are equal in my opinion. I'm a Nene fan. But if I had to go with Kenya, Portia, Kandi, all of them are the same. Okay? That's just how I roll. So Kenya said, I will not take the blame for that. So Kenya said in her confessional, I will not take the blame for that. Nene started it and Christopher snatched my arm. That's violent behavior. It is. I have to agree. Nene picking a fight with Kenya. Meanwhile, Brandon is like, what was that about? Here you go, Natalie. Your friend lied on my husband. Girl, shut up with your little stringy hair. Your husband is a wuss, okay? There was no reason for Apollo to get physical with Brandon, and there was no reason for your husband to walk up aggressively talking about, I need to address you, what kind of medication you on. He started it, okay? He started it. So Apollo goes back in because they let him loose, and he starts again. To be continued. And that was the end of the episode. I know when this aired, people were blaming Kenya. This started because of Nene. She started all this, period, point blank. Christopher, you got up and you grabbed this woman's arm. You don't touch her. At that point, all bets are off. Of course, Brandon had every right to tell him, don't touch her, period. And Apollo finished it acting like he was still on the prison yard. And that was the end of the episode. We are going to pick up with part 2 of Pillow Fight or Pillow Talk next Thursday for our Throwback Thursday. Y'all tell me if y'all want to keep this up and if y'all want me to continue it or not. This is all in fun. Y'all get down in the comments and discuss this throwback episode and tell me what you remember. If you don't remember much, go back and watch it on Hulu so we can kiki and caca together, child. Don't hesitate to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. And as always, stay safe. Stay blessed, spread love, not germs. Peace.